Where is my coffee? Hi, hello. Happy Friday, everyone. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to get on here. Let me set this up, make sure you guys can hear me. Okay. Oh, my coffee's all the way over here. I hope everyone's having a beautiful Friday. Welcome to the Friday Love Live Show. I am your host, SelinaAlmodovar. And for those of you guys who don't know who I am, I am Hey, hi, I'm waving at you. For those of you guys who don't know who I am a Christian relationship coach, and I am here to help single women rewrite their love story, having God at the center of it, so that they can prepare their minds and their hearts for the man of their dreams, the relationship of their dreams, the marriage of their dreams, all while trusting in God. And today is a conversation that I didn't think I would have, to be honest, in following this couple for some time. We are going to be talking about Michael B. Jordan, famous actor. He was on Black Panther. He was the Creed, the next Rocky, and a bunch of other stuff, and his breakup situation with his girlfriend, Lori Harvey, who is Steve Harvey's daughter. And why did I think that we were not going to have this conversation anytime soon? Because what the social media and what the media in itself portrayed was a very picture perfect relationship. What Michael B. Jordan has said to the media was very picture perfect. What Lori Harvey said in regards to relationship was very picture perfect. I mean, these people were hashtag relationship goals. Okay. So the discussion that I want to have for you today from a Christian relationship point of view perspective is, why would you break up a good thing? Why would you break up a good thing? So that is our discussion today. Please, if you have any thoughts or opinion on this topic, I am welcoming you. I am encouraging you to please share your thoughts, ask your questions. I want to hear your comments. I want to see these comments flood my screen right now, because a lot of good women are out there who are trying to find the relationship that was modeled after Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey. So why would somebody break up? And more importantly, what can you learn from that so that you don't fall into the same situation? You know what I mean? So share your thoughts. If you are on YouTube and you're watching me live, then I just want to say, from this community, thank you so much for joining me. Please feel free to go in the live comments, share this video, comment, subscribe, like all of those YouTube things that we love to do in that community. If you're watching me from Instagram, then hey guys, what's going on? You may have saw me earlier in my stories, and I want to say the same thing for you. Make sure you share this live with somebody else, especially if you guys are big fans of these two people. And let's talk about how we can make your relationship better, your love life better, your single life better, and possibly your breakup season better. All right. So let me just go ahead and give you a little bit of a background for those of you guys who are kind of new to the story. Like I said before, Michael B. Jordan, he is an up and coming actor. He's not even up and coming. He's already up. He's up there. He is well on his way to becoming a very prominent actor. Okay. Not only is he doing that, but he just opened an ad agency. He's got a lot of things going for him and his career. I'm pretty sure it was this year or last year that he was deemed the sexiest man alive. Like, you're in your prime, bro. You are in your prime. I'm pretty sure he's going to be in Black Panther Part 2. Don't quote me on that, but I'm a big Marvel fan. That is my theory. I stand by it. He is doing a lot of big things. He's 35 years old. Okay. This dude has been around for a long time. If you have not followed his career before Black Panther or before the Creed movies, he has been around for a long time. He was in the Fantastic Four. What? Fantastic Four has a movie? Yeah, he was in it. Okay. That's how far back he goes. Okay. He's 35 years old. He is very up and coming. He is on the rise. He is steadily rising. And he meets Lori Harvey a year ago through mutual friends. Lori Harvey, who is she? She's Steve Harvey's daughter. Well, she's more than that as well. She's a model, basically. I'm not sure if she does runway, but I do know she does some commercials. She does some picture poses. I'm not sure if she's a runway model, but she's a model. All right. She has her own life. She's doing her own thing. She's not just daddy's little girl waiting for Prince Charming to come and sweep her off her feet. However, that kind of did happen with Michael. They got together. They were madly in love, guys. I'm not making this up. I am not sugarcoating it. You can go back to all of the articles that were dated on them. You can go back to Michael B. Jordan's Instagram, as a matter of fact, and you can see like he was head over heels for this woman, called him his turtle. Okay, like pet names and everything. I think what makes this so difficult is that Michael said this in several interviews as well. He said this, and he said, this is kind of the very first time that I'm like really showing this side of me. I'm being vulnerable, not just to a woman, but he's being vulnerable to the whole entire world. Okay. This dude has multiple millions of followers. Everybody saw him wear his heart on his sleeve. Everybody saw that he thought, like, I am in love. This is it. This is endgame. I finally have like that one piece of my life. I finally have it fulfilled and completed. And so he was very open about his intentions of where he wanted this relationship to go. He was very open and honest about his expectations of, where his life was going to go the next chapter. Like, he said he was going to get married without saying it. He said it, you know what I mean? And without putting it in writing, he put it in action. This dude did everything for this woman, and this woman, was just the same. I love him. I love him. He is so good to me. We're having a great time. Life is so beautiful. I mean, this is relationship goals. Why did they break up? Why did they break up? If it was going so well, why would you break up? If it was going so well, why would you break up? Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. First of all, if you have any opinions, go ahead and say it. I just want to say real quick, we're not going to judge people. We're not going to call people out. We're not going to say anything about gold digger or nothing like that. I don't honestly think that is the case. That's not the kind of type that I see these two people being, but something happened, and I want to, instead of focusing on them, let's focus on you guys. Okay. If you are in a really good relationship with somebody and this guy is not even reached his prime, he is still climbing, and you know that big things are about to happen for him, and you see how you feel with him, you see how he treats you. Like, you were taught all your life to find this in a man and to find this kind of relationship. Yet what would make you say, I can't move forward, I need to end it? What would make you say that? What would make you say that? You know what I mean? Like, that is the mystery. That is the question. That is what everybody is really scratching their heads about and is confused. And for you, what would make you walk away from a good relationship and from a good man? I have a couple things. Maybe it applies to this particular couple, but maybe it also applies to you. Okay. I don't want to turn this into a gossip column because that's not who I am. That's not where we're at. But there are definitely lessons that we can learn from the experiences of high, media publicized people, right? They're showing us these lessons, and maybe God has something that he wants to teach you through this. And so that's what we're going to use the rest of this time to talk about. All right. Let me go ahead and check my comments. Let me make sure nobody's here. I'm not ignoring anybody. Okay. So I have three things. I have three topics. I thought about it and I was like, what would make someone break up? And I'll share my own story. I was getting over a breakup, and I started talking to a friend. He was a friend for a long time, and it just so happened that he crossed my path again, and we started talking. And what ended up happening was we talked a lot. We started talking more and more and more. Slowly but surely, his conversations became friendship conversations. We relied on each other. We laughed together. We grew together. We learned together. Like, we started to form a relationship without trying to form a relationship. Next thing you know, we're starting to talk about feelings. And while I'm still getting over a relationship, while I'm still trying to figure myself out, I am also feeling these really strong feelings for this person who has been there for me, who was with me through this dark and hard time that I was trying to figure myself out. And so, yes, we started to form, we weren't really boyfriend. I don't think we've ever became boyfriend and girlfriend, but the feelings were there. Okay. And it got to the point where you had to make the choice, are we going to be exclusive, or are we going to walk away from this? What are we going to do? And I didn't know what to do, because all the boxes were being checked, right? He was a great guy, it was a great relationship, and yet there was something in me that couldn't quite put my finger on it, that made me feel like I'm just not confident in this. I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure about this. And this was very early on in my faith walk. This was very early on in me saying yes all into Jesus and really forming my relationship with him. And I fasted for the very first time. You guys can find this story, the full details of this story, in my blog, SelinaAlmodovar.com. And I fasted for the very first time the same weekend that I went to go see this person. And I told God, I said, you know what, I'm at a crossroads, and I don't know if I can trust him. I don't really know if I can trust you, God, but I'm going to just put it out there. If this is for me, let me know. If it's not, shut the door. Very, very early in my Christian walk, I didn't know if God would speak to me. I didn't know if a burning bush would come up out of nowhere, but I knew that there was a very, very good guy. And I started to see my future with this man, but something was still off. And I didn't know if it was him. I didn't know if it was me. Something just wasn't clicking. And maybe that was what was going on between Michael and Lori. They had a beautiful couple. They had a beautiful relationship. There was a beautiful person on the other side of the eyes that they were looking at. And yet something was off. Okay. How did I discover that this man was not for me? God gave me the sign. God answered my prayer. I am not kidding you. I said, shut the door if it's meant to be shut, open the door if it's meant to be open. I made a lot of mistakes in this friendship/relationship, but when it was time to shut the door, God did it with the quickness. And I knew instantly that it was God's doing. And I knew from that moment on, this relationship is not for me. He is not the man I'm supposed to be with. And I had peace about that decision, and I was able to walk away. Am I sad that I lost my friend? Yes. Am I sad that I hurt feelings and I was hurt because I had to walk away from that? Yes, absolutely. Breakups are hard. It doesn't matter how deep you are in it, whether you've been married for 50 years and you finally call it quits, or maybe you were in a relationship for 1 year. Maybe you didn't even get to an exclusive relationship. A breakup with somebody it's terrible and it hurts. You know what I mean? So, yes, sometimes you have good things, and there's just something in you. There's just something about it that just makes you feel like this is not it. And it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean like, oh, you wasted his time. You took him for granted. You knew what he wanted. Like, I'm sure the media is bombarding these couples about this. And it might be in your situation too. You might have family that are like, girl, why would you leave him? He had everything. He had a good job. He had benefits. He wanted to marry you. He gave you the ring. And still something inside of you is just like, no, it doesn't feel peace. And to me, as a coach, as a Christian coach, I feel like if you don't have the pure and utter peace to move forward in a relationship, I don't care how good it looks on the inside, it's going to affect you. Or I don't care how good it looks on the outside, it's going to affect you somewhere in the inside, somewhere down the line, because you are not walking in alignment with God. God is peace. God is going to lead you towards the peace. Okay. And if you're not ready, or if the situation is not what it's supposed to be, then you're always going to feel like you don't have that peace. 3 things that I believe could stop you from saying yes to a relationship, from going all the way to a good relationship, or from walking away from a good man. 3 things. Okay. Number 1, values. We don't know what their values are. Maybe they had a conversation about God, and maybe somebody trusted God a little bit more than the other person. Maybe their traditions were off. Maybe family values were off. Okay. Maybe the way that they handle their finances were off. Maybe their lifestyle. I like to do this. You like to do that. It's never going to work. Their values were off. Maybe there was an imbalance. And sometimes when you like, I understand that you have to, when you're coming together with a person and you really love that person, I understand that there's going to be times where you're going to compromise. Okay. My husband loves NASCAR. My husband loves football. My husband loves baseball. My husband loves sports. Okay. Ah, me, I, they're exciting at times, but do I have to watch it every single weekend? No, but that's a compromise. Okay. I'm willing to allow you to have your fun. I'm willing to allow you to have, to watch your sports because I know that I can go and do something else and I will not love you less because you like sports. But when it comes to God, bro, and when it comes to like family, and when it comes to like saving money to build generational wealth, to build legacy, to build a foundation where we're not working till we're 70 years old, like those are values. Those are incompromisable. Okay. Is that even a word? I don't even know. But those are things where you're just like, no. So one of the things that made me walk away from this good guy is we had different values when it come to our faith. Okay. I was very, very close or getting very close to God when I was in this relationship with this good guy. And I started to talk to him about Jesus. I started to talk to him about the encounters that I had with Jesus. Okay. Some people, they see it as just being religion. Some people just see it as like, oh, this is something that I grew up in. This is something that my family is a part of. Oh, this is just something that we do on the holidays. But no, for me, I don't know how it is for you guys out there, but for me, it is a personal encounter with God. I have seen God move in my life that cannot be explained in any other way other than the fact that God Himself was there in that situation. And God Himself used His voice, used His hands, and made a way and made things happen. There is no other way to explain it. That is my belief. And if you're going to say that you love me and you want to have a future with me, but you can't believe that or you can't side with that belief, then we're going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem. It doesn't mean that I love you any less. It just means that I can't grow with you. There's no way. There's no way that I can grow with you. So maybe there was something in that relationship that was so valuable to one of those people or both of those people, and they just couldn't come to an agreement that the value should be esteemed as so. Okay, maybe there was that. I'm not saying it was a faith thing. It could have been a family thing. It could have been a political thing. It could have been a money thing. It could have been something like that. There is a value imbalance. So if you're in a relationship or if you see a really good guy and everybody's like, why won't you give him a chance? Value could be one of those reasons why. Okay. Value could be one of those reasons why. The number two thing that I came up with as to why you might walk away from a really good relationship, okay, because we only saw what they allowed us to see. We didn't see them every single day. We saw them once a month and it looked great. Hey, guess what? I go on a date once a month with my husband and I look astoundingly good. But yesterday and the day before, no makeup. I looked crazy. It was a hot mess. We were all over the place. Okay. So be mindful of what you see and what people show you in the public eye. Just a little side note. Number two, expectations. Expectations. A lot of people are saying that the reason why Lori broke up with Michael, okay, that's important. Lori broke up with Michael. It wasn't like the other way around. It wasn't a mutual, maybe it was a mutual thing, but I'm pretty sure Lori broke up with him is because Michael was ready. Michael was ready. He knew what he wanted. He got what he went after what he wanted. He found what he was looking for. He held on to what he wanted, right? And he was ready to take the next step. Homeboy was ready for marriage. Okay? It was only a matter of time. He might have been shopping for rings as this happened. We don't know, okay? He was ready for marriage. She was not. Okay? So when you're in a marriage mindset, okay, let me tell you something. If you're out there and you're single and you're like, I don't know if this guy is serious about me. I don't know if he thinks that we're going to go all the way. Like, I really like him. I don't know if he thinks it's that serious. I'm going to tell you what, if a man sees you as his wife, you will know that he is serious about you from a very early start of that that relationship. You will know why, because the way he speaks to you will be different. The way he treats you is going to be different. The way he approaches and shows himself is going to be different. Why? Because he knows that this is the start of something big. Okay? And there is a certainty in the behavior and in the characters of that man when they know they found the one. There is a certainty, there is a security in them that overflows into that relationship. Okay, so if you're with a guy and he's like, well, let's just see how it goes and we're just here to have fun. Nah, bro, you're not serious. You're not thinking about it. You're playing games right now. You're buying time because you don't know what you want and you don't know if you found what you were wanting. Okay, so for Michael, he knew, and he probably was treating the relationship towards that direction. He was probably going in the direction of like, we're doing this because I want to build this future with you. We're doing this particular thing because I want to set this foundation down. Okay. He was probably acting in a way that was giving her the impression of forever. Okay. And Lori might not have been ready for that. She's 25 years old. If you were to ask me, here's something interesting. If you were to ask me when I was 25, if I wanted a man like Michael B. Jordan, someone who was together, someone who knew what they wanted, somebody who was going after it, somebody who was on the rise in their career and their stability and their security, I would have been like, yes, of course. Yes, I want that. Of course, absolutely. I want to be a wife. I'm 25 years old. I'm ready. I'm ready to have kids. I'm ready to have the marriage. I am ready. Okay. I would have said that at the age of 25. I would have said that because that's what we grow up thinking. That is what we grow up wanting. Okay. It is ingrained in us that you meet a guy, you fall in love, everything's beautiful, you get married, you have the happy ending. Like that's the blueprint, right? But as I look back now, like I'm over 35. So I'm past 10 years of 25 years old. Okay. I'm not gonna give my age, but whatever. And if I look back now at 25-year-old self, I'm going to tell you right now, I was nowhere near ready for that kind of commitment, for that kind of man, and for that kind of foundation building to establish a secure, whole, and healthy future. Okay. I wasn't ready. I was running around ragged. I was ratchet. I didn't know myself. I didn't know what I wanted. I thought I did because I saw the whole series of Sex in the City. I was like, oh, yeah, I want what they want. I could achieve that. No, 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 no. I was not a person who was emotionally mature, who was spiritually sound, and who was mentally healthy enough to say that I can have a healthy relationship and start building on that healthy relationship. I'm not saying that because you're 25, you are all of those things as well. I'm speaking about me personally. But a lot of the times, people who are in their early 20s, they're still trying to figure it out. They're just starting to figure it out. Okay. And for you to make a forever kind of expectation on somebody who is just starting to figure it out, there's a lot of pressure there because they're basically in their head, or at least in my head, you're basically saying, you're not going to give me time to think anymore. You're making me choose how to live my life and how to set it up right now. And that's a lot of pressure. And that could be a lot of stress on somebody who's not ready to do that. Okay. Michael B. Jordan, when he was 25 years old, like I said, Fantastic Four. Where did that movie go? Okay. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. Maybe Lori Harvey, when she's 35 years old and she's established and she's lived and she's traveled the world and she's had all of these different kinds of relationships, maybe she understands herself, what she wants, what she needs, not only in a man, but in herself. Maybe then she'll have that understanding of like, this is what I want and I'm going to go after it. But for right now, at the age of 25, like you're just out. You're just getting out. You just started your job. You just started to build connections. You just started the climb. Okay? So for you to say you have all this time to do all of these things, but now I want you to lock in and center in on this, it could have pushed her away. somebody who is like that, somebody who is ready for marriage, also, they start to depend on that person a little differently than if you guys are just having fun. You start to depend on that relationship. You start to see some expectations like, well, I want my wife to be like this, or I want my marriage to be like this. And so therefore, I'm going to expect our relationship to go this way. When really she's just like, I'm just here to have fun. I'm just trying to see what is it about. I'm just trying to figure it out, and if you have somebody in that position, if you're in a relationship where you have someone in that position where they're still trying to figure it out, and then all of a sudden you remove the time, that time is their security to figure it out. So when you remove that time aspect from the relationship and you're saying, no, choose now. I want to marry you now. I want to be with you now. You're the one for me. Stop looking. I'm going to take away that choice. Then it creates some strife. It creates unsettlement. It creates an uneasiness, right? And it makes that person less likely to become drawn near to you, and it actually repels them away. Okay. That could have possibly been a reason that this happened. She probably felt like, I'm not ready. And according to a lot of the articles that are out there portraying why did they break up, that is one of the main reasons. She was not ready, he was. And that happens in a lot of couples. I see it in a lot of women just because I work with a lot of women, but it happens both ways. I see it so that they're ready and they're not understanding why the man is not ready, or they're understanding like, why are they not? We've been together, we have a beautiful thing. Like, why aren't you ready to make that thing? Because marriage is a very serious thing, not only because of the state, because of what it represents in God's eyes. Okay. Marriage was created before the fall. Marriage was one of those very prime things, those very, what's the word I'm looking for? It was one of those primitive things that God created as part of the perfect world. Marriage was there before the fall. So there's a lot there. There's a lot there, especially if you have baggage from marriage issues, especially if like you came from a divorced family, especially if everybody you've seen in their marriage, they're not happy, especially if you're like really, really scared of commitment and you like what you have. So like, why fix it? You know what I mean? Like, why do we have to change it if everything's good now? You have people like that. And when you have someone who's like, no, this is it, this is the answer, it pressures them. And nobody works good under pressure. Again, like I said in the beginning of this conversation, you have to have peace, right? So for the people who are watching, I don't know how many people are watching on Instagram. I got one person here. So for the people who are watching, where do you think those expectations are? Have you ever been in a relationship where the expectations were different than your own? Or maybe you were the one who had different expectations and this person was kind of lagging behind. Have you ever had that experience? Let me ask you guys about that. Let me see, where are these comments here? And Instagram as well. For you guys who are watching, have you ever seen anyone deal with a relationship where the expectations were different? That's the question that I am asking. Here we go. Be sure on YouTube to subscribe, share, love, of course. All right, I got some people here. Let me go ahead and get some coffee. The third thing I want to say is it could have been baggage. It could have been baggage. It could have been somebody has not healed fully and they were bringing old relationship things into the new relationship. Has that ever happened to you where you thought everything was great, but there was just still this one thing that they just couldn't let go of, and it came from their past? And it's really frustrating because you are not responsible for clearing it up. You shouldn't have to clear it up. You know what I mean? Maybe it was something like that. Josie, for you just tuning in on Instagram, I'm talking about Michael B. Jordan, Lori Harvey, and the third theory that I have as to why they broke up was because somebody may have had baggage. Excuse me. A lot of people speculate that Michael had issues that he was still working out from his last relationship that he was bringing into this new one. I don't know. I don't know their business. I don't know what happened there. But I know in my personal case, when I had a good man and he was telling me, let's take this to the next level, baggage was definitely one of those things that were keeping me from having a peaceful, resounding decision to say, yes, I'm going to move forward with this. There was a baggage issue because you're afraid that what's going to happen in the past is going to happen in the future. Or you're like, I had the mistakes in my past. And so therefore, I'm going to do A, B, and C in this particular relationship. And that's going to prevent whatever happened in the past from happening again. Only you're thinking of that one sidedly. You're not thinking about your new partner and the new relationship, which is completely different from the other relationship that you just came out of. You know what I mean? And so a lot of the times you are acting as a reaction from someone else that has nothing to do with what's going on in the current and with the new. And that could be difficult in relationships. You know, I have here on Instagram, let me see, let me make sure I'm over here in the comments. Okay, so on YouTube, they say, I think too many people are judging Lori's past for the relationship she's had. I'm going to talk about that, Pink Meadows. I'm definitely going to touch on that because yes, I'm going to touch that real quick. Hold on. It says, yeah, for sure on Instagram. I think that you said about the time being removed and feeling the pressure can definitely push you further apart. Yes. This is, and definitely agree. Sometimes you are on different pages because of the baggage that you've brought in. Yes. Um, a lot of people, when it comes to relationships, okay, they forget that they are new people. It's a new setting. You are not the person that you once were back when you were dating so and so, when, right? You're a new person and you have to treat it as such. You are discovering new things about yourself every single day. Whatever happened in the previous relationships in the past changed you and molded you and possibly could have scarred you. And so you have to take all of those things into account. And you have to not take them as an account as like, oh, I have this guard up, I have this wall up, or oh, people are going to treat me differently because of this. It's no, moving forward, I now am sensitive to this. And moving forward, I now know this value is high in my life, or I know that this is what I need in a relationship moving forward. You know what I mean? Like you have to go from this starting point moving forward. Um, I heard earlier, maybe like it was yesterday, in regards to Lori. Too many people are judging Lori's past for the relationships she's had. First of all, Lori is 25 years old, so she's very young, discovering love, figuring it out. Especially when you're trying to figure yourself out, is definitely a very hard thing. I always encourage singleness for as long as you need to be, because that is where freedom is. Okay. That is where you're free to discover yourself. That is where you're free to grow. That is free for you to envision who is the person that I want to be and what accomplishments do I want to achieve by the time I'm 80 years old. When I look back at my life and I'm 80 years old and my life was lived, what do I want to be known for? What do I want to be proud of? Who is the person that I want to be? And then in your single season, you have the freedom to start doing that, right? A lot of people don't think that because they're like, I just want to be with someone. I just want to love someone. I just want to spend all of my time and grow old with someone and have this life with someone else. I just want companionship, right? And it's hard because you might not be ready for companionship because you don't know yourself. You don't know what you want. You don't know what you need. You don't know what your dreams are. You have to establish yourself. You have to establish your foundation first. You have to establish where you are in God first. Where does God want to lead you? Where does God see you fit? And what is God trying to do in your life? And get now with all the freedom that you have as a single person. I saw something recently and it was about Lori, and it was like, everybody is saying good for Lori. She discovered early on before there was a marriage that this was not the relationship she wanted. Good for her. She called it quits and she did what she had to do. But if the roles were reversed, say Lori Harvey was all in and say she was like, yes, I saw him as my husband. This is going to be my future baby daddy. This is going to be my marriage. This is it. This is it. And then Michael B. Jordan was like, this is not for me. I'm going to leave. Could we have successfully have said that we could let him walk away peacefully after being involved with a woman who was all in, who's very serious, and then he just chose to walk away? Like the gender roles, would it have been different, or is there like a double standard? Because maybe she knew what he wanted and she still was like, well, let's just see where this goes. It leads me to fact number 3. Okay. The first thing I said as to why I thought couples would break up when they're deemed a good couple is because of their value imbalance. Okay. The second thing I said was maybe their expectations were off. Okay. The third thing I want to say is, or the third thing was the baggage. But the other thing that I want to say is, ooh, I lost it. Let me see if I can find it. What you have to do in a relationship, I found it again. You have to know what you want. Okay. Michael knew what he wanted. Michael was very single. He was all the way single for a very long time. He would always get asked the question, when are you going to date? When are you going to find someone? When are you going to find someone? He was out there looking because he knew what he wanted. I want something that I can settle down with. I want to find someone who's going to be my forever one. I am searching for a wife. He was on a mission. Okay. And maybe Lori was on a mission too, to find the same thing. Okay. Because of her past, because there was baggage, like how Pink Metal said on YouTube. She said, or he, I don't know, maybe she, let's just use that. Okay. Because of her past, maybe she's gone through some bad breakups, she's gone through some bad relationships. Maybe now she's like, I never want to go through that again. I want to meet someone who I can just have peace and have fun and live my life and grow with and grow old with. You know what I mean? Maybe she had that expectation in the beginning. Maybe you have to know what you want. And what I always say as a Christian coach and just as a relation coach in general is that when you are early on in your relationship, like before you even get exclusive, like when you're still in the dating phase and you're still filling each other out and you're still trying to see if this is worth like doing, going all in on, you have to set your intentions and you have to set your expectations somewhere in the conversation before you say, will you be my girlfriend? Will you be my boyfriend? Can we make this serious? You have to ask the question, and you should expect the question to be answered by both parties. You should be like, where do you see this going? Where do you see your next relationship going? Maybe not us. Where do you see your next relationship going? Do you see it going down the aisle, or do you see us just having fun? Okay. I don't know if they had that conversation in their own life. I don't know if that's the conversation that brought them together in the first place. Because a lot of people, they'll say, yeah, I'm ready to go all in. Yeah, I don't want to date unless I know it's serious. Yes, I'm not getting any younger, and if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be very serious and very intentional with this relationship, right? Because I'm tired of playing games. Maybe you're at that stage and you have those conversations and people walk away from that. But then let's play it out. Maybe they say, yes, I want the same thing, right? A lot of people stop there. A lot of people say, I know what this person wants. I know what I want. I know what they're expecting. I know what I'm expecting out of this. I know their intention is for marriage. I know my intention is for marriage. And a lot of people stop there because they think that's all I need to know to start a very serious relationship. That's all I need to know. This person is perfect for me. They're checking all the boxes, and we're going to make this work. We're going to make this happen. We're going to go all the way. Maybe that's where Michael B. Jordan stopped. Maybe that's where Lori Harvey stopped, but they're missing a very important key in this early phase of should I not be in a relationship. They're missing the part where you need to address your feelings. How are you feeling about all of this? How are you feeling about the idea that what you have been searching for, you have finally found? Because a lot of people will say, I'm excited, I'm ready, I feel peace about it, I want to move forward with it. And then there's a lot of other people who would be like, I'm scared. I don't know if this is real. I'm still trusting, but I'm doubting, you know, and it's in those feelings that you wager where your relationship is going to go. It's in those feelings that you monitor, because if the expectations were aligned, and if the emotions were aligned, if the attractions were aligned, but you're feeling like this is all moving so fast for me, I feel a little scared, or I'm feeling a little nervous, or I'm feeling like I don't know if I could trust God in this. If there's a doubt, then that's what you address. Then that's how you wager whether your pace for the relationship is going to go faster or slower. Okay? Did Lori ever express to Michael that she was ready for marriage? Maybe she did. Did somewhere along the line she realize that she wasn't ready for it? Yes, she did, because they're broken up. Whereas the conversation of that had, maybe that conversation is what brought them to this conclusion. And maybe for you, if you're out there and you're having this relationship and everything is going well and you are feeling blessed and highly favored because God is finally opening doors in your life for prayers that you have been praying for all through your single season, but there is that feeling that I don't know, or I'm unsure, or I'm not at peace, that is what you should be nurturing. That is what you should be monitoring. And that is your indication. Maybe it's not a red flag, but it's certainly not a green flag either. And that is the flag that you need to be paying attention to, because that's going to let you know, is this relationship really going to go all the way, or is it not? Am I going to be okay if this relationship doesn't go all the way because of how they're feeling or because of how I'm feeling? No matter what, at the end of the day, you have to trust God. And God's not going to lead you into a place where you're feeling like that. God's not going to lead you to a place where you're feeling like, I don't know, or I'm unsure, or I'm worried, or I'm scared, right? He's going to let you know, do not be afraid. Be of good courage. I am here. I'm going to open doors for you. I'm going to give you peace. I'm going to let you know. I'm going to give you confirmation after confirmation after confirmation, so that even if you have that in your life, you're going to know that you no longer need to have it in your life anymore, because I'm with you and this is the right way to go. Right? And maybe they didn't have that. I think whatever happened to Lori and Michael is between them. Obviously, it's behind closed doors. Maybe they'll talk about it. Maybe they won't. What's going to happen for them? Well, I think Lori, again, is very young. I think she's going to really dive into her career and her other relationships in her life, her friends. She has a huge circle of girlfriends, which is what you need always in and out of relationships. So I'm sure she's getting lots of love and attention and nourishment through those other relationships in her life, which is perfectly what you should be doing, right? And I think she had to make a very important decision in her life. I'm speaking about Lori Harvey, who's 25 years old, who is an up and coming model, who is surrounded by love, family, and friends. And she made a very important decision in her life, a decision that a lot of other women are not going to understand, a decision that maybe her parents don't quite understand, but she did it for herself. She chose her. And at the end of the day, all you can do is respect that, because at the end of the day, that's what you should be doing. You have to choose what's best for you. It doesn't matter if all the boxes are checked. It doesn't matter if the relationship is everything you've ever prayed for and dreamed of. If God is not giving you the peace to proceed, then choose you, trust God, and you have to do what's best for you. Will they ever get back together? I don't know. We saw J-Lo and Ben Affleck do it. It's possible, right? It's very possible, but I think she's going to be fine. I think she's going to find the adventurous person that she is looking to have fun with, and I think when she's ready to settle down, she will, because she's a very attractive person and she has a good head on her shoulders and she has a support group that is phenomenal. They're not going to lead her astray, right? As for Michael B. Jordan, what's going to happen to him? Were you here when I said that People magazine deemed him the sexiest man alive? Like, homie's gonna be fine. Here's what I'm afraid of, and I'm praying that it does not happen. When you have a man of that stature, bare his heart, vulnerable, open, honest about his love for a person, and then he gets dumped, a lot of people are going to be after him. A lot of women are going to try to fix him, right? A lot of women love a heartbroken man because they're like, I'll be the person that you need. I will fulfill you. I will fill the void in you. You know what I mean? So there's going to be a lot of women out there who are going to be out there for the wrong intentions. There's going to be a lot of people out there who are going to be like, oh, you're good. You could bounce back. But it's like, we don't need to hear that. We don't need to know that I can bounce. Like, of course he could bounce back. He could have another girl today if he wanted to, yesterday if he wanted to, right? But that's not the point. Michael's not. I think he's broken. Everybody needs that time to grieve and to process. Hopefully, this doesn't put him in a position where he's going to now guard himself, where he's going to now put baggage into the new relationship, right? Hopefully, he's not going to do that. But hopefully, this gives him some insight of like, hey, I loved and it was beautiful. I learned a lot in that relationship, and those lessons are what I will take in the future with me. I am not the same person that I was before because now I am a person who has loved and who has lost. And now I know what I want. And when I find it, when God gives it to me, it's going to be better than this. That's something that you guys all miss. And I missed a lot when I was single and I was trying to figure it out. I have here, Pink Metal said, I hope he doesn't turn into a negative mindset. Exactly. I hope he doesn't take this and he just turns it into something that's just like, no, I'm guarded, I'm protected, I'm never going to love again, I'm never going to have a person again who's going to get that close to me. I hope he doesn't personalize her decision. Exactly. They both, in the comments, it all says that they're very heartbroken and, they're both very sad about this. So clearly it was a mutual decision where they're like, we can't move forward because we're stuck in this one spot, so they both agree that the solution was not to proceed. And it could have been for any of the reasons that I mentioned, right? But I think at the same time, Michael is going to bounce back. He has a good heart. He's going to focus on his career. What guys normally do when they break up, they go in the gym, they busy themselves with work, they try to make themselves so consumed with everything else that they don't have the time to process the feelings. They don't have time to address the feelings. And over time, he will talk about it because he is a good man and he's on his prime. Do I have any doubt that he's going to find that person? No. You want to know why? Because a lot of women now know his true colors. A lot of women now know that he's a romantic type, that he's a love type, that he goes all in. And that is very attractive in any serious woman who is looking for that in a man, right? So my biggest takeaway from this, and my biggest takeaway that I want you to know, is that if you find something good, if you find a good relationship, if you find a good man, always, 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 always be upfront and be honest about your feelings. Be upfront and honest about what your heart is saying, what your gut is saying, what God is telling you. Never proceed unless you have the peace to proceed. I'm not talking about cold feet, on your wedding day because you're nervous that you're gonna fall. I'm talking about it is a scary sight to look into the future, but I am covered with peace, knowing that whatever happens, it is meant to happen and I'm ready to face it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the kind of feeling that you want going into this kind of relationship. That is the kind of feeling you want going into the next phase of what this relationship could have been. I'm very sad that these people are going through it. Obviously, their family is going to say what they want to say in support of their person. They might be feeling this for a long time. Lori removed him from all of her social media. He still has her pictures still here and there in his stuff. And we'll see what happens. I will keep you posted on what happens, but I think they will be fine. But as for you guys need to know that God is going to have you as well. If you thought that you just got out of a relationship that was so good and the person was so good in your life, and God took that away from you, and you're like, but that was it, then you have to think about the other side of that coin, is that if you thought that was it, then you have no idea what God is getting ready to bless you with, because it must be a million times better than what you just walked away from, right? You have to trust that if God is closing a door, even when you think a door shouldn't be closed, even when your mama thinks the door shouldn't be closed, even when the whole world thinks the door shouldn't be closed, that's because God has something better better? Like, what could be better than that? We don't know, but God does. God knows what Michael B. Jordan needs. God knows what Lori Harvey needs. God knows what you need in a relationship and in a man and in a partner and in a lifelong foundation builder, legacy builder. All right. God knows what you need. And so you have to trust that. You have to trust it. So my prayers go out to them going through this breakup season and anyone else. I pray that the enemies would not tempt them to make bad choices or to move quickly into something else where baggage is going to be carried into a new thing. You know what I mean? I pray that they would be able to have the peace and the space and the time to rediscover themselves after going through this thing. And I hope that the fear does not cloud them from moving forward and learning to love again. And I have this prayer that I just said for Lori and Michael, but I'm going to say it for you guys too. If you're out there and you're going through this and you're trying to figure out how you're going to find that next new person, that better person, how are you going to be able to find just a good relationship where all the boxes are checked? Then I pray that for you too, that fear does not cloud your judgment, that fear does not overtake your moves in your love life, and that you can be assured that whatever you thought was good and God took away, it means that God has better, and God will always have better for you. Okay, so that is my talk for you guys today. I'm going to wrap it up right there. I think that's a great place to end it. Okay. Again, if you're on YouTube, be sure to subscribe, like, share this out for other people in your community to watch. Instagram, same thing. Follow, share the live. I do this every single Friday. I take one pop culture story and I break down the relationship as well as the points that can help you trust God with your relationship. So if you like this, tune in every single Friday. If you want some practical tips on relationships and how to use your faith towards creating that relationship that you've been praying for, then be sure to watch my videos every single Monday. Link in my bio on Instagram or YouTube. You get it right there every Monday. I believe it's 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock I do it. So make sure you do that. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me. For everybody here on Instagram, I had a lot of people here. So my husband stopped in for a minute. Nara Beauty Fixing Company, Josie, Hazel, Nara, I don't know. No, Nara Noir. Candace, girl, thanks for coming. Andrea, thanks for coming. All of these people, Pink Medals on YouTube, thank you guys so much for coming. Please share the news. Let's have this conversation even bigger and better next week. I don't know what we're talking about next week because these kind of stories pop up out of nowhere. You know, I've been blessed to have a relationship topic every single week. And so if you have something that you see in the headlines and you're like, ooh, Selena, cover that, be sure to send me a DM, send me a message. I will cover it for you guys. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to keep working in my office today. Today is my office day. And I pray that you guys have a wonderful weekend. I pray that you are filled and highly favored and blessed, and that you just have a beautiful, gorgeous season in your life. All right. I will talk to you guys again later. Bye-bye.